So my husband left for his foreign land. He said he was just going for a friend's wedding. But when I found out what he was really up to, I was in for the surprise of my life. The man I trusted with everything betrayed me like this. Guys, I just want you to know this story is absolutely insane. I hope you're having a great day. Let's get started. No words can describe what this man's done to me, and I pray that one day karma deals with him in a way that I cannot. It did not matter to him that we have a son together, or that I cut off my family for him. He used me, lied to me, then left me to deal with the mess. I'm still dealing with the mess that he left me to pick up. Even a divorce will not help me at this point. Nothing can help me forget all he's done for me. I do not know why it's been me, of all people, who was stupid enough to fall in love with such a cruel man. A lot's happened, so much, but I hope I do not miss anything important that happened. Before anyone calls me stupid, I know I was stupid. It started when I met this very charming man at a cafe. I'd seen him there several times in the morning, and I admired his looks. But I was not really looking for a relationship at the time. And maybe it was stereotyping, but I thought he had been married or at least had a partner, as he looked to be in his late 20s. One day, I dropped my card after paying for my morning coffee, and he actually chased me down to give me the card. One thing led to another, and we started dating, although it did take a while for the relationship to develop deeply. After the honeymoon phase, we were faced with the problem that my family could not accept him. They're a very backward European family that wanted me to marry someone of my own race. It did not help that they were a bit racist towards him since he is Muslim. I was put in the position of choosing between my happiness and the man that I loved. Well, it was a simple thing for me. I chose him because he really and truly showed me he cared. He was doing well for himself, always spoiling me and buying me gifts, as well as being very attentive. He would fix anything that I wanted to be fixed in my apartment without me even having to ask. So the perfect term to use was that he love-bombed me when I was truly in love. I cut my family off for him. I'm also going to mention that my grandfather left me the family farm when he passed away. Some people worked there for me, so it gave me some passive income. I was doing well for myself financially, and so was he. He was not born in Europe, but had been living there since he was a small child. So he was a citizen of the country as well. At least, that's what he told me. Nothing that he told me was even the truth, though. And I was such a fool that I did not question it. Well, about 2 months after I left my family for him, I fell pregnant. My friends warned me that he would bolt as soon as he found out that I was indeed pregnant, but he stayed. He proposed to me, actually, and we got married in a very small ceremony. That was when I had to ask him about his family because I could not just get married without knowing my in-laws. I wanted our child to know his family and be immersed in the other side of his culture. He told me that he had a difficult time with his family because, well, they did not want to accept that he was marrying a white woman. The closest person that he had that would help him was his brother, Salman, who was a lawyer. He told me that Salman was his friend who was the closest person to a family he had. Salman was a very nice person to me and reassured me that all his friends were saying was the truth. I stopped asking questions after they successfully pulled the wool over my eyes. In my head, it somehow made sense that he left his family for me, since I've done all that for him. Sure enough, we got married and I gave birth to our son, which was when he came up with the idea that we needed a place of our own. We did not have money to buy a home, though we were both working, but we came up with a plan that we should split the debt between the two of us, since he had a business and I had a good job. Salman was very helpful throughout the entire process. I trusted him so much that I did not question it when they said I had to lay down my farm as collateral and foot 50% of the mortgage. They told me that it was 50%, but I found out it was in fact 75. I did not look too closely at the papers that I was signing, not when I was tired from nursing our newborn. He was being the best husband ever, and made life just a lot easier for me. He promised me that I did not have to worry about anything. He would sort out all the paperwork, and since I was not working at the time, it would be better for me to put the farm as my collateral. I'm a bit old-fashioned in my views as well, and I felt that it made a lot of sense that he, as the head of the household, would have the house in his name. Our children would inherit the house when we both passed away. This was what he promised to me, and sure enough, everything was approved thanks to the help of Salman, a very good lawyer, and I just did not have any stress about putting the farm up since I would be working in a couple months. I did not know his apartment, where we were living, was just not the best place to raise a baby. I was just happy that at 25, I had a house, husband, and a baby boy. My life was set, and those who laughed at us in the past, saying that it would not last, were now eating their words. I had to cut off so many friends who were suspicious of his intentions for me, so I did not really have that many friends except for Millie. Millie remained loyal to me even though she did not fully support the relationship, and she had to pretend for my sake because she knew that if I was alone, I was going to be in danger. Imagine this. My own family decided I was a lost cause and would deserve whatever was coming for me. But Millie tried her hardest to look out for me, and it was who she helped open my eyes in the end. About 6 months after we moved into the house, a 3-bedroom house that was very beautiful in every way, my husband told me that he was going back to his home country just for a few weeks. I was not a fan of that idea, not when I was just starting to go back to work and our son was still so young. I could not manage a month without him, and after all, he did not get along with his family anyways. Well, he looked me in my eyes and said that he was going there to try and fix things with his family so they would accept me and our son. So like a fool, I let him go, thinking that everything was going to be smooth sailing from then on. However, as soon as he got there, he was distant from me, and he was withdrawing a lot of cash from our joint account. Stuff he said was to help his family for the wedding expenses. He also did not like calling, saying that he was busy all the time. Little did I know that he was busy with someone else. Here I was, waiting for him at home while he was getting married. Millie, she's an event planner, working in weddings amongst other many things. She also has many friends around the world, even in the UAE, where my husband was. She was corresponding with one of her friends from there when this lady sent her an example of an Arabic wedding, as it was something that Millie was working on. I do not know if it was fate or God working in mysterious ways that the wedding pictures she got were from my husband's wedding with another woman. Like any good friend, she forwarded the pictures to me with the message, "Maybe my eyes deceive me, but this looks a lot like your husband. I do not want to sound like I'm stereotyping, sorry." Oh, but that was not the case. She could recognize him very well since he's been in my life for 2 years. Now, it was him. When I saw the pictures, my blood ran cold, ice in my veins. I was numb as I wished to wake up from this bad dream. There had to be a mistake. It had to be his brother that he was saying and going to get married. I was so silly. Of course he had a twin brother, but he did not mention it to me. I was laughing as I thought of how silly I was to even think that my husband could betray me so easily. Even as I looked through the rest of the pictures, twin or no twin, I knew it was him. I knew him. It was him, but there had to be an explanation of some sort. The charges on our account, him being distant as well, that was starting to come together. Then I saw the banner with his name. Karan in the background of a picture, and I lost it. I immediately left the office saying that it was an emergency with my son at daycare, and then I went home. There, I proceeded to trash everything that was his and break every picture that I had of him. I was sad. I was angry. I was disappointed, betrayed, and in so much disbelief. The feeling of pain has not left me till today, and I do not think I'll ever forgive him or let our son have a relationship with him. I hope that all he and his wife try to do in life will fail, and they will never be happy. I do not care if I sound spiteful, but I did not deserve what he did to me, because the wedding was not even half of it. He continued to lie to me while he was still there, even when I asked him if his family was going to accept us. He said yes, of course they did, and they wanted us to visit in a couple of months. But I used that time wisely while he was not yet there to put away everything that was a value that he owned. I did not know why I did that. Maybe because I was already talking to the divorce lawyers about leaving him once I calmed down. Millie and I, we were plotting to destroy him and leave him with not a dime to his name while he was gone. His evil co-conspirator, Salman, pretended like everything was hunky-dory. When I saw him, I felt like attacking him for lying to me like that. Those two were thick as thieves in the whole matter, of course, but the nerve of that man to do what he did to me next. I've never met a person so heartless before in my life. He came back home a few days later and he saw there was stuff missing but did not say anything. Up until dinner, when I showed him the pictures of the wedding. That was when he told me the craziest lie he could come up with. He told me that his family made him get married to the other girl as his second wife, so they would accept me and my son. After all his lies, he thought I could believe that. So, I asked him where she was, if he came with her back home, and if she was going to live in my house. He told me that he did not love her at all, and that it was just to make his family happy, but I knew it was a lie. He just wanted to have the best of both worlds, and for me not to take my child. I told him to take his suitcase, and that it's packed up and ready to go. He could go to hell and live there at peace with his new wife. I'm going to divorce him. Though I was in so much pain, it was very satisfying to watch him beg me to let him stay, but after I threatened to call the police, he left. I thought I won, but boy, I was wrong. The next morning, I had a very rude awakening when Salman and Karan came to my house with the police. They had a court order for me to vacate Karan's home immediately. I was furious since I was paying the mortgage of the house and we were married. But Salman took out the papers I signed without reading, which was when I remembered that I signed over the house to my husband. Not only that, but he told me that I was going to pay 75% of the mortgage, even though it wasn't in my name. It's some stupid law in this country, a loophole that they exploited. Karan just stood there as Salman told me to leave the house so that my husband's new wife could move in. I asked Karan, how could he do this to me? But the man who answered me was not the one I fell in love with. He told me that he loved the woman he married for a long time, but her family would not let them get married. But once he showed up and impressed them, it was over, and all thanks to me. It was a pity I got pregnant, but maybe for good for him because that gave him the chance to propose to me. He told me he did not even feel a bit of love for me, and that I was just a stupid woman. He felt sorry for me and would have let me stay with my son in a lesser position if I've been smart. I tried to fight him. He said it was nothing against me. He just wanted a home, and I was the way to get it. Everything had all just been a long con. A ploy to take advantage of me and marry the woman he loved. My family had been right when they said he could not be up to any good, but I was so blinded that I could not see it. I was forced to live in that house, and even after spending so much time in court, I still have to pay that mortgage while he lives there with her. I see them happy in my house, and I just want to tear that house apart brick by brick because I hate him, her, and Salman for playing me like this. There's not much that I can do, and every month apart from my salary goes to paying that house. If stopped payments, then I'll lose my farm. There, I only have one thing I comfort in, that I was granted full custody of my son, and no matter what, I will never let him be a part of my son's life. When my son grows up, I will tell him his father's dead. I've already exhausted all my resources in trying to fight this man, and I'm tired. I have no family and barely any friends, and I'm in a financial ruin. The only reason I keep going on is because of my son. I know people laugh at me behind my back because he's posting his wife on every social media platform, and it hurts. I do not want to live. His evil friend supports him in all this, even with the divorce, as if I've never treated him like family. It's fine, though. He'll get what's coming for him, for making me suffer for the rest of my life. So guys, I've never been so disappointed in an ending. Usually there's some sort of happiness involved, but OP basically just lost everything. This is crazy to me. Hopefully there's an update for this, because at least the last sentence posted by OP, that we can reread right now, does give a little bit of hope. I hope that he gets what's coming for him, for making me suffer for the rest of my life. Who knows? Maybe there's some karma or revenge in the future. Make sure you subscribe to the channel in case any updates come out for this, and I will catch you guys in the next one.